Smooth Moves, brought to you by Jamison Whiskey.
The Monday Smooth Move, thanks to Jamison Whiskey. The last of 23 goals kicked here this afternoon. It was the decider, the sealer for Geelong. Forward pressure, getting the ball to Sean Manor and ensuring a 7-point margin when the siren went. It's a pulsating affair in front of 88,746,000 fans. Both coaches to join us. The thankless task is to be the coach on the wrong end of it. So we say to Sam Mitchell, thank you for joining us and welcome.
Yeah, good to be here.
It's not.
No, it's not.
What's your with the sense of frustration as you come to join us?
Yeah, I mean, rationally, I know the side that wore brown and gold jumpers tonight is going to win a lot of games playing like that. There's some rational feeling that's there about that, but my overwhelming feeling is disappointment and frustration about what could have been.
So the kicking clangers were sort of the feature of the day. How did you observe that from the box?
Oh, I was right from the very start. We just our kicking skills, and I think when you play professional sport, your whole game style is built on predicting what's going to happen in front of you. And when you have some turnovers the way we did, I mean that last one that you just showed, we had some turnovers in front of goal that were just diabolical in front of our goal, which is the one there. But at the other end, we turned the ball over 10 times in our own defensive 50. And that last one you saw, they made us pay and it won them the game. But that was an issue all night.
How do you, in your words, rationalise that to the group? I mean, you've just come from there. This is really raw for us, and I can see the frustration on your face. So what was their answers to that? I'm sure you put it to them.
I said in the presser downstairs that of all the ways you can lose, skill level is at the better end of the spectrum. If you lost because of skill, we had really good players who are really good kicks, missing kicks. Now they're good kicks. They're going to be better kicks again. So they don't lose the talents and the skills that they have, and we just need to rebuild the confidence to make sure that next week we continue to go for the kicks that are there, and we know that they'll regress to the mean and they'll hit most of those.
So any theories as to why it happened today?
No, I mean it was a little bit blustery, but they seemed to handle it fine, Geelong, and we had plenty of good kicks that came off. So it's probably a bit early for the unpacking of all that, but it was definitely an issue in the game. I mean, I also don't want to say it was just our kicking that cost. I mean, Geelong are a very good side, and you have to get a lot right against them, and that's probably one of the more obvious things that we didn't.
Did you use the ball by hand more than you would normally in the first half today? Was that a plan, or was it that just playing what they gave you?
A bit more of what they gave us. I mean, we know that their defence is very, very strong, very well organised, very well set up, and we knew that they're going to get numbers back. So sometimes trying to use a bit more handball, between the arcs, can force them to come up. And we tried to do that. We didn't make the most of our chances. I thought we could have hit the scoreboard a little bit better early. I think our set shots really sort of hurt us. I think we kicked 1-5 at one stage from set shots, and weren't able to get any sort of scoreboard ascendancy. And because of that, they pretty much stuck to their guns, and we weren't able to get there in the end.
Has your captain been a little less sound over the past couple of weeks than you would typically believe him to be?
Oh, I wouldn't say the last couple of weeks. Certainly in this. I mean, the thing is, when you're James Sicily, that comes with enormous responsibility, and he's won us quite a few games the last couple of years. Without him, we don't win. And today he did the thing that you want your captain to do. That he put himself in positions to help us win the game. Now, he didn't take his chances tonight, but overall, you would have to say that Sis has won us more games than he's lost us.
Forward of the ball, Jack Gunston kicking 6 last week, and again was your number one avenue at this stage and this stage of his career. You got Kelsey Deer played, I think, for the first time on the weekend. Have you got some support coming back?
No, Kelsey's not quite ready yet. He should be next week.
Lied to us last week.
Next week. Hopefully he'll get some minutes in the next week or two. So a little bit of, and I think Mitch Lewis is probably getting a bit closer. He'll still be, quite a period away. But obviously there's some tall timber that's ready to come back. But also, Max Ramsden is playing really well, kicked 3 in the VFL yesterday. So there's hopefully some strength coming to help Jack, but he's been playing really well for us.
One of the flashpoints of the day is the Connor Nash report. So it's to be graded the swinging arm into Brian Myers. I know at the press conference you said you hadn't seen it. I have the benefit of being able to show it to you here. Maybe
Great.
give us your thoughts on this.
I mean, I hadn't seen it until then. I saw it live, obviously, and as soon as I saw him coming off and he was taken out with concussion, then you recognise that that's probably going to be a report and go to the MRO. So I guess my thoughts first and foremost go to Grind and make sure that he's, no one wants to see that concussion in the game, and Nash, he doesn't have a reputation for anything like that, so I'm sure that's not what his intention was. But thoughts to Grind and leave it for the MRO.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Do you address that with the playing group, or is that brought up at all in terms of at 3/4 time or half time, whatever it was?
No, not specifically. I mean, you obviously go to Nashy to see there's still a game to be played, so there's a bigger thing that's going to play out as far as MRO and make sure Grind's okay and those things. But Nashy still has a role to play for the team. So we sort of did what we could to make sure that he still had his head in the game. But to be honest, he probably struggled a little bit after that.
Jack Ginnivan played, and he did play, I do know that. He kicked 4 goals in the VFL, so a good response.
Yeah, I mean, was wrapped for him that he was able to get on the scoreboard, but he just looked a vibrant, energetic self. We also found a fair bit of the footy and, he gave off a couple of good ones and got given a couple. So I was pleased that he was able to play with the vibrancy and energy that we know when he plays his best he has. And, I think he really bought into what they do at Box Hill. And, Zane Littlejohn, the coach there, said that he was fantastic. So really pleased he responded so well.
1 week enough for him, do you think?
It's a bit early to have a think
Yes,
about selection. So we've got a 6-day break. We get West Coast next week at Marvel, and we'll lick our wounds from tonight and get to that.
Do you, when you watch that game, so I watched, Jared's working, he's calling it, and I'm just watching it. Do you feel and sense how good a game it is and how it ebbs and flows and there are moments within the game, or are you that absorbed in the coaching aspect that you only get that on reflection?
Oh no, a bit of both. I mean, you recognise this is a good game of footy. We're going to have to be good, and I think Chris Scott, it's certainly a chess game in the coach's box. They're always throwing different things at you, so you're very, probably fatigued from an intellectual point of view, trying to figure out what is going on in the game and work your way through that. But you do recognise, okay, this is 2 teams that you want to watch play.
Is that real? Like, we hear that Chris Scott is very hard, and just watching, you see what's going on, not to the level that you are, but is that a real thing that you feel a bit more drained against some coaches or games than others?
It wouldn't just be Chris. There's certainly some games that are much more technical and there's a lot more moving parts, and there are some that are less. And, there are some coaches that like to leave things for a while and some that make changes really quickly. And I'm still finding my feet with it, to be honest. But certainly, that against Geelong, you're going to have to work pretty hard in a coach's box. And, we gave ourselves chances today. We just weren't quite polished enough.
Did you feel comfortable with the shape of the game for the most part? There were no phases, maybe outside of the early in the second quarter, where you were scrambling. It was much more on the decision and the skill execution.
I mean, for the most part, we liked the way the game was set up. We thought it was set up in a way that would help us. And, we just... the amount of times it was like everything was right and then there was a clanger, and that or an unpredictable bit of play where it's just like, if that's just... we didn't feel like we had to make huge changes. There was some changes in the game from both teams, but, they're very consistent in what they do and, their game style and the way they play and the way that they know what each other are doing and their potency in front of the ball just was a bit too much for us when it mattered.
Had 10 shots from centre bounce. Kicked 4 goals 6. It's unusual.
I mean, it's a lot of shots. It's unlikely you're going to get that every week, but we do work hard on that part of our game. And, I think the forward and midfield connection outside of that probably needed a bit of work, but it was a bit better in the centre bounce today. So, unfortunately, we couldn't make the most of it from a scoreboard point of view. But, 10 shots is pretty first class.
What's your overriding philosophy with your veteran forwards? Gunston, who looks in great form, and Bruce, who comes in and starts today. Did you think by round 6 they might be starters together? How you use them? What's your feeling at the moment?
I mean, my philosophy with them has been very honest right from the start, and it's not actually all about what they do on the field, and I know that that's what the fans see, and that's an important part, but whether they're kicking goals or, the sub or they're coming on in different stages is not the most important thing that they do. Their level of coaching and development of the people around them is been absolutely first class, and I think they're both very, very employable post-career, which hopefully is far, far away because of what they've done in this period. And I think Jack is obviously going through a nice run of form. And Luke, that was the first time he was physically sort of able to play what we thought might be a full game, but he played sort of 2.5 quarters and thought that was probably enough for him. So got CJ into the game and gave us a bit of extra run, but not quite enough.
Just give us one overall to finish with. We're 6 weeks in, you're 4-2. You've lost the past 2 after the 4 in a row. How do you feel you're positioned after the first phase of the season?
Probably where we deserve to be. I think when we were 4 and zip, I didn't think we were, really humming, and we've obviously lost the last 2, and I thought that the side that played tonight, they're going to win a lot of games of footy, so we're going to have to try to replicate that and better it if we're going to beat the best sides in the competition, which is what we're here for.